On this video, I would like to go over the surface area of two solids. So before we've looked at cubes and rectangular prisms, now I would like to look at triangular prisms and square pyramids. Now, my hope is that you not only know how to find the surface area, I'm missing a pyramid, that you not only know how to find the surface area of these shapes, but that you would be able to apply the concepts that you've learned here and find the surface area of any shapes that involves similar structure or a similar net image as these. Okay, so the reason I'm grouping these two solids together is because they have quadrilaterals and triangles in their net image. So let's look at the triangular prism first. Triangular prism looks like this. It has two congruent triangles on both sides, and they are connected by rectangles. So again, to find the surface area, it's easier to visualize with the net image. Let's open this up. Actually, let me draw this so that it's longer, so that you don't think the base rectangle and the sides triangle should necessarily be the same. I'm going to draw the triangular prism like this. Okay, so to draw the net image, we have the central rectangle. I'm going to use the color red. Okay, so that's our base rectangle. We have two triangles on both ends, this side and on this side. These two triangles are equal, so that's our red base. I'll color the two triangles blue. These two triangles are equal, and we also have the side rectangles on this side, on the right side, and also on the back side. Okay, so I'll draw those here. It's going to be something like this. And the reason I've redrawn my triangular prism and made my triangle taller is to show that the red rectangle is not the same as the green rectangles. Okay, so we have a net image of this triangular prism. Now let's try and find the surface area. To find the surface area, we need the measurements. Okay, so let's call our side here as W, this side as L, and for the triangle we need to know the height. So that's going to be our height. And for the green rectangle, we need to know this length here. We need to know this length. Okay, that's the side length of the triangle. So let's say that that length is S. Okay, so now moving on to our image on the right. This side right here is S, and we have the height of the triangle. This right here, let me erase these arrows. Okay. This right here is the W, and this right here is the L. Okay, now to find the area of the blue triangles, remember for triangles the formula is base times height divided by 2. We have two blue triangles, so we're multiplying times 2 And the area of one of these triangles is going to be, let me write it in blue so that you know that it's the triangle. The base, which is W, times the height, which is H, times 1/2, or the same thing as divided by 2. So there's our triangle, and we have to add in our rectangle. So let's do the green rectangles. We have 2 of the green rectangles. And what are the dimensions of the rectangle? So this side is L, right? It's the same as here. And this side right here is the same as these 2 sides are the same. Okay, so this side is also going to be S. So the area of the green rectangle is going to be L times S. And let's add the red rectangle. We only have 1 of those, so don't multiply that by 2. But we have the W times the L. Okay, so that's going to be W times L. W times L. Okay. So that would be the formula for this triangular prism. But again, don't try and memorize this formula. Just know the concepts. We are adding the 2 triangles together. We are adding the 2 side rectangles together. And then lastly, we are adding the base rectangle. And if you add all of these together, you get the surface area. Okay, so this is the surface area of the triangular prism. Now let's move on to square pyramids. Square pyramids, I think, is a little bit easier than the triangular prism because the base is a square, and it's always easier with squares. So a square pyramid looks like this. It's a pyramid where the base is a square. Okay, so that's our pyramid right there. And again, to find the surface area, let's open this up. We have a square as the base, and then we have triangles attached to each side, like this. And these triangles are all congruent. So we have the red base down here, and we have the blue triangles on all 4 sides. Okay, so we have the red base and the blue triangles. Now to find the surface area of this triangular or square pyramid, we need to know the dimensions of the base. So this is a square, so let's call this as S and S. They're both the same because since it's a square. And for the triangle, we need to know this height. It's called the slant height. We draw that on top with the green. Okay, so that's the slant height, and let's call that L. So that height right there is this height, and we need this height for the area of the triangle. Now this is different from the actual height of the pyramid. The actual height goes down to the square in the bottom, and it's perpendicular to that square on the bottom. This height here is actually the height of the triangle on each side. Okay, we don't use this H. We don't use the height for surface area. We use the slant height. Okay, so these are all going to be L's. That's going to be L, that's going to be L. And remember that our side here was S. Okay, so we have, for the surface area of square pyramid, forgot to write the equal sign here, that equals to 4 triangles. We have 4 of the same triangles. Okay, so that's where the area of the triangle is going to go, plus the base square. That's where we're going to put the area of the square. So let's start with the easier one. The square, what's the area of this square? Well, if the length and width are both S, this is going to be s times s, or s squared. Okay, and for the triangle, we have to do the base times the height divided by 2. Well, the base is s, right? So base times the height divided by 2, or times 1/2. Okay, and there we have the formula for a square pyramid. Okay, I think the formula looks much more complicated than it actually is. If you recognize that the first part of this is considering the triangles, that's why I've written this in blue, the 4 blue triangles, and the second part of this refers to our red base, the red square as the base. Then I think it's much easier. You're just adding them all up together. You're adding the area of the triangle, you're multiplying that times 4 because there are 4 of those, and then you're adding the base square. Okay, so that's how you find the surface area of a square pyramid.